Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. I am one half of the McMeeples account on YouTube, and today I'm going to be talking about the game Glen More II Chronicles. So Glen More II Chronicles, I would say I'm going to refer to it as Glen More or Glen More II. The major mechanics in this game are a rondel selection, which a rondel selection would be a concept where you can move as many spaces forward in one direction as you want to select your action. It's got a little tile placement building, and those would, I'd say, are the two main mechanics in this game. And so I'm not going to do a full rules overview. I'm just going to talk about the parts of the game that I find unique and interesting. I'll link below this video a really good rules overview in case this game sounds intriguing and you want to learn more. But with that out of the way, the two things I'm going to talk about is the scoring system that happens and the tile selection process. And so as you can see on this main board, there's this grid of what looks to be 14 tiles or 14 tile spaces. And so these tiles will populate this board, and on your turn everyone will have a little worker that is taking up one of the spaces, and on your turn you're allowed to select whoever is furthest behind in the kind of rotation wheel will get to select a tile, and to select a tile they'll move as many spaces as they want forward to claim the tile in front of them, and that is the simple turn selection. And so these tiles have a few different unique parts to them. They have symbology of what they're referencing up top. There is the cost here along the left side. There's the bonus that you'll get when you place it into your castle, city kind of field. And then this bottom action here is the action that will be taken when you place a tile. And so what happens is everyone starts with this city tile, and there are a slew of workers that you'll have. I believe you start out with maybe one. So you'll start out with one on your capital city, and the placement rules are you can only place next to one of your workers that you have out in your city. And so you can place in one of the surrounding orthogonal or I believe orthogonal spaces to where your workers are. And then you will get to activate every action that is touching that tile. So placing it here, we would get an additional worker, and this is a landmark card. So we would get we get those bonuses right away, and then we'd be able to activate this ability, and this ability. And for this example, they're all move a worker one space. And so that is what allows you to spread out to be able to place around in your city. And so this puzzle of choosing tiles to place to activate this almost engine that you're building in your tableau with the little symbols of the actions that you can take throughout the game. So this one gains your these ones gain you different resources. Those are people. That's another move. This is turning one grain into a barrel. So building out that engine in your kind of cityscape or village-scape, whatever they refer to it as, is a really cool puzzle of trying to build up and be tactical around specific tiles that you're looking to grab. And so the tile placement in this game is very unique. I don't think I've ever seen an engine builder like that tied into tile placement. So that was really cool. The other part I'd like to talk about is how scoring works. And so if you see on the top of this board, there's 4 stacks labeled A, B, C, and D. What happens for scoring is each time one of these stacks empties, it will trigger a scoring event. And so once that is emptied, no matter whose turn it is, you will move right into the scoring, and you will compare your tableau that you've built to every other player in the game. And so you'll score for the number of little workers that you have still on your castle space. You'll score the difference. So if we're playing a 2-player game and I have 3 on my castle and my opponent only has 1, I would have 2 more than them, so I would get 2 victory points for that. and the scoring of its scale. So if I had 5 or more people in my castle and my opponent only had, 1, that'd be 4, so I'd get 5 victory points for that. And so you'll compare the differences in all 4 categories of people in your castle, number of landmarks you've collected, number of whiskey barrels you've collected, and number of villager tiles that you've collected as well. And so this intermittent scoring that is comparing how you've done compared to your opponents is a really cool concept that I can't think off the top of my head if I've seen any other games that have those rounds of scoring. Potentially that Civilization game that just came out, Mosaic, has something similar to that. Sorry, did not mean to sneeze in the middle of the video. And so that scoring in between rounds compared to your opponents is really cool because you can't ever forget about what everyone else in the game is doing. And the last scoring factor that I think is really cool is at the end of the game, you will compare how many tiles you've placed in your city, and whoever has the most will lose 3 victory points for each tile that they have in difference. So again, in this 2-player game, if I have 7 tiles and my opponent has 9, they would lose 6 points because they have 2 more tiles in their city than you. So that adds this layer of wanting to focus on other type of tiles. There's 2 different type of tiles that help with decreasing the amount your city builds up. And one of those I've got, and the other one is still probably in the box. So there's 2 type of tiles. There's citizen tiles, I believe, or people tiles, which when you claim one of these, instead of placing into your Tableau city, you'll instead get to spread out on this board claiming one of the bonuses. And so you'll get an instant one-time bonus, but it'll keep your city from expanding too large. And then you have these development tiles, which have this symbol up here that show that they can be placed on top of other tiles in your city. So it gives this puzzle of, if you can build out really far, you'll gain this powerful engine and be able to take a lot of actions when you place tiles. But at the end of the game, you want to make sure that you haven't, built way too big compared to the rest of the people in the game, because then you'll lose a chunk of victory points. And so the tile placement, engine building in this game, and the fact that the scoring is dependent on the broken up between rounds for when the tile deck's empty, are my two favorite mechanics in the game Glen More II. I'd love to hear in the comments below what some of your favorite mechanics are. And if you like content like this, please subscribe. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and would love to engage with you in the comments below.